Okay, in this video, we're going to discuss selecting multiple items and deleting some while leaving some there, and also changing your mat size and arranging items on the mat. So we've got a lot to cover here. So first of all, we'll go in to Pattern and to save data to my USB. Now I'm going to use the file that I had you load onto your USB for class called Botanical Garden. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here so you can watch up close. Okay. Now, yours should look exactly the same as mine, but I've made some changes to this file, so it may look a little bit different. But we can go ahead and say, okay. Now, here's all these different items, and I am not going to want to work with all of these. Say I just want a couple of them. I can go into the edit screen, and I can select one and hit the trash and delete just one of them. But with a large number of them like this, that would take a long time. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to decide that I want to cut out some of these, this little flower and this leaf. And the rest of these I don't want. So I can go over here. This is the selection area. The red box tells you which one is currently selected. So we'll go over here. And I can go to this one, which brings me my arrows, and I can drag this up and it will select all of them within that plus the one I had selected. Or we can do select all and it'll select them all, and then I can touch on the ones that I want to keep and deselect them. So I've got all of these selected. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to delete them. So that's how you can delete numerous ones. So now what I want to do is I want to cut out, say, 6 of each of these. I have to do it individually. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do 6 of them. And then I'm going to select the other one and do 6 of those. Okay. So now I have 6 of each. But I could then say, okay, I'm going to line these up perfectly and spend a lot of time. And I don't want to have to do that. So I am going to tell it, okay, I'm going to come over here and do my background scan so that it can see where my paper is. Okay, so now I could go in and see exactly where my paper is and get them all in there. But I don't want to have to do that. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go to my wrench right here. And I'm going to change my cut area. So currently it thinks that I'm going to cut over the entire mat area. But now what I want to do is cut over just this small piece of paper I have, which is 5.5 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches. So I've got to get this, and I don't have to get it perfect, but we'll get it close. So that's close to 5.5 by 4 1/4. So we'll say okay and okay. So now my mat is actually only this small area. See how this is all now grayed out. So I can take all of my pieces here and hit this arrange button, and it can arrange them in directly in line. It could flip-flop them up and down, or this way allows them to go any which direction in order to get them on there. So I will choose that. And as you can see, there's not enough space on my mat, so I've got too many for this. So what I'm going to do is go back into my edit, I'm going to take one of these little ones and one of these, and then I'm going to select all the rest of this and delete all that. So we're back down to one of each. And let's go with 5 or 4. I think 4 I can get. And say OK. So now I'm going to go back out and do the arrange. And now you'll see that it has allowed, and I'm going to go in and lighten this background down to a lighter background. That'll make it a little easier to see where the cuts are. So now you can see that it would allow me to have a couple of more. So let's go ahead and add those. So we'll go in and add a couple more. And then go ahead and go back in here again. And maybe it'll allow me to have one more of these little flowers. So let's add that. So let's touch on it and add one more flower. And again, we'll go in and arrange them. And this way you can choose whatever size piece of paper you have and get as many items on that and then cut it out. So then I can go OK and cut, and it will cut out all of those from my small piece of paper.